Hey guys, I gotta get something off my chest. I edit with Final Cut Pro. But in this video, you're gonna learn why that might not matter as much as you might think. Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Jason Beckett. I am the owner and founder of Canvas Collective Media, and me and my team have a collective experience of over 10 years in filmmaking. Today, I wanted to go over something that I get asked quite a bit, and it is, what editing software should I use? So, as a quick answer, what editing software should I use? Really, whatever makes you the most comfortable. It's that simple.
Why didn't I think of that? Hammocks!
I personally use Final Cut Pro because when I started editing, I was using iMovie. And that was, the software that came with my laptop, and I kind of got forced into doing it while I was editing my first ever short film back when I was a sophomore in college. I got thrown into the fire, learned on iMovie, and it was free, so I just kind of stuck with it. And then once I was ready to upgrade, well, Final Cut Pro seemed like the easiest next step because a lot of it was the same carryover. I became better as an editor and was able to use more professional software in the transition. That being said, I don't think you have to do Final Cut Pro. I don't think you have to do anything. I think you should just use whatever is most comfortable for you, and honestly, whatever you have is probably great. Even within Canvas Collective, we have a variety of editing softwares that we use. I use Final Cut Pro, Nick uses DaVinci Resolve, and Matt and Owen use Premiere. It is what it is. That's just what we're all most comfortable on. I don't have anything else necessarily against the other softwares. I just use Final Cut Pro because I'm comfortable with it, I'm used to it, and it makes me feel creative, and to be honest with you, I know how to do just about everything in it. So I'm able to create something in Final Cut just as well as someone else is able to create something in Premiere. So it doesn't really make a difference because if we make the same thing at the end of the day, what does it matter? I personally didn't like Premiere. I had to use it all through college while I was in film school, and it wasn't user-friendly, it would crash all the time, and when I came out, I didn't feel like having to pay for a subscription for the rest of my life. So that to me really turned me off of Premiere. So I have nothing against the software, it's a great software, it's an industry-leading software, but I'm just not a fan of it.
Got to say, in all honesty, it's the biggest piece of dog shit.
Really, what you should look for is you should look for that software that feels comfortable, that feels familiar, and inspires you to want to create. That being said, it is nice to learn more than one. I actually plan on learning DaVinci Resolve this year. If people are looking for a software to start with that is a professional software, definitely jump in with DaVinci. It is a free beta version, and there's not a massive difference between the paid and free versions. I'm only going to be using the free version, but you can look up what the differences are and if it's worth it for you to upgrade. But for me, it really isn't. So, keep that in mind. Now, if you're a beginner trying to figure out what editing software to start on, my advice is same thing with cameras. Just use what you have. Your iPhone, you can use iMovie. If you have a Mac, you can use iMovie. There's a ton of other free editing softwares. There's a bunch of apps. There's tons of options. So just use whatever you're most comfortable with to begin the process of learning how to edit. And then from there, you can upgrade. You can take different steps. You can look at these other editing softwares. There's a bunch of softwares that I've also never used before, like Avid, and I'm sure there's others, but there's definitely a lot of softwares out there that I have not used myself, so I don't know what is the best for you. Like I said, me and my team use a variety of softwares, and it's just what we're all most comfortable with. So use what you like, use what you're comfortable with, and when you're a beginner, start with anything, and then upgrade when you can do your research. Because the thing is really the big three, which right now are Adobe Premiere, DaVinci Resolve, and Final Cut Pro, all at one point were or still are the industry standards. So it really is up to you, whichever one you want to use. Like I said before, it's whichever one makes you feel the most comfortable and inspires you to create the most. For me, Final Cut Pro has become second nature, and that's what I use it for. But at the same time, across the industry, everyone uses different platforms. There's a bunch of videographers that I really look up to, such as Ryan York or that one blonde kid, who both use Final Cut Pro. And, they're phenomenal, and the stuff that they make is incredible, and yet they use a software that a lot of people deem not good enough. So it is what it is. Like I said, use what you're most comfortable with, use what you want to use, and just go out and make stuff. It's that simple. At the end of the day, it's whatever software you want to use, whatever one makes you feel creative, and honestly, whatever helps you keep creating. As long as you're still doing the thing and making the stuff, you're going to improve and you're going to get more comfortable, and it'll come. It took us quite a while to get to the point where we are now. So it's not an overnight thing, but the more you practice it, the more you do it, the better you'll become. It's that simple. So Thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.